Hey guys, thanks for joining us for this 92nd episode in Season 2 of Good Questions with Cameron Dole. Special guests on this episode include Daniel Hines from the band Left Arm Tan. We'll be talking about their latest single, It Ain't Love, also pandemic inspirations, and upcoming summer plans as well. We'll also visit with actor, producer, and director Jocko as Season 3 finale of New Amsterdam will air Tuesday night on NBC. We'll also visit with Canadian country singer-songwriter Lisa Brokop. We'll be talking about her new single, Is It Me and You? We'll also talk about her summer plans and having another concurrent single which just currently ended. Of course, if you would, please take the time to subscribe, comment, leave some feedback, check out the shop, and share with your friends. Now, if you could make one of these two things illegal, which would you choose? Robocalls or junk mail? That's a tough one, isn't it? Well, someone online asked for the worst things that are legal, and those were two of the big ones that people agreed with. Now, there were also some serious answers like kid beauty pageants, healthcare costs, and for-profit prisons. But here are a few more not-so-serious suggestions. Number 1. TV shows with smoke detectors going off. Number 2. Subscriptions or services that auto-renew or are too hard to cancel, like having to go to the gym just to cancel your membership. Number 3. Food companies basing calorie counts around small serving sizes. You know, like ramen noodles where one pack is 2 servings. Never. Number 4. College professors who make you buy an $80 textbook that they wrote. Number 5. The size of the X button on pop-up ads. Now there should be a minimum size so it's not so hard to click. And number 6. Socks that fit an insanely wide range of feet, like sizes 6 to 12. Now, what would you add to the list? All right, guys, our first guest on the podcast today, a member of Left Arm Tan. They performed a concert at JD's Hideaway here in Altus a couple weeks ago. Daniel Hines on the line with us. And first off, Daniel, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
First off, after this last year with the time off of the road, I mean, what's it been like? And maybe have the fans really shown that appreciation of the live shows coming back again?
It's been a weird year, right? And when all of this started, you've heard the saying, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a noise? And there was a period when everything shut down, and I was like, well, if we're a band, but we don't get to play, we don't even get to be in the same room together, we don't get to do anything, we don't even have pictures for social media, are we really a band anymore? And so I think a lot of musicians went through this period where they, were probably a little bit depressed. But I think in the long run, it turned out to be a good thing, because when we got back together, something that this is a hard job being a musician, and the joy came back, and it's still there. So, we played a show here in Fort Worth, which is our hometown, and we played there last weekend, and you could tell the people were happy to just be out. The sun was shining, and we were happy to be there, and it was kind of hot and muggy, and we were sweating, and all we could think was, we're living the dream. It's good to be here.
Now, Daniel, for you, what was it like in the downtime finding inspiration? I mean, what was that inspiration for you?
Well, you would think during lockdown, it would be the time to, people say, write the great American novel, or, hey, we're going to write 3 albums worth of material. And, initially it was actually demotivating, because you don't know when you're going to, hey, I can write this song, but I don't even know when I'm going to see the guys in the band again. But, pretty quickly we got through that. And, one of the cool things that happened, of course, all the bands went online with their Facebook Live performances. And it was kind of cool that, we did that, and it kind of leveled the playing field between all bands. It didn't matter whether you were Paul McCartney or Pat Green
Right.
or Left Arm Tan or the next band that, is just up and coming. Everyone was kind of in the same position. And so, that afforded us an opportunity. There were, some TV shows that came out where they were, putting bands on, performing in their living room. And, that gave us an opportunity to be on a show right next to someone like a Wade Bowen. And so there was some exposure that we received during that period that was unexpected. So that was really good. And, frankly, it kind of made us stretch ourselves to figure out, okay, if we can't play live, what are we going to do to sort of scratch the creative itch? So and all the bands went through that, but I'm glad that we're back to a little bit of normalcy.
So during the extra time, did the music change? Maybe the inspiration for lyrics or themes or maybe things like that? Did any of that change for you in the time off?
Well, I definitely think it affected it. Our band, we tend to be overthinkers on everything. Everyone wants to write the great lockdown song. And then, of course, we're like, well, everyone else is doing it, so we need to write about something else. At the end of the day, we just decided that regardless of what was going on, we were going to, keep moving forward. And even if dates get moved around, and we think, hey, we can plan for a show in June and then it gets canceled, you still have to move forward. That's probably the number one thing that we learned is you just have to keep moving forward.
All right, Daniel. So the newest single from Left Arm Tan, It Ain't Love. Tell our listeners just a little bit about the behind the song and how excited you are to have one in the midst of pandemic.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for playing it. We really appreciate that. On the surface, it's a story about a guy who comes home and, his wife has decided to, pack everything up and leave him. But, what it's really about is how you feel during a breakup. And, I've been through some breakups and, there's a line in the chorus, it ain't drinking until you're drinking alone. And it's, you're not lonesome until she disconnects the phone. And, if you've ever been through a breakup and then just that pit in your stomach and just that horrible feeling, that's kind of what the song is about. And, it's going to be on our upcoming EP that comes out in July. We've got an EP that we recorded 4 songs called Road Trip Songs, and our name's Left Arm Tan. And when we saw that things were opening back up, we decided, well, let's pull together some songs so people can kind of hang their arm out the window and take their road trips. And everyone's finally able to go see family and friends and life's returning to normal. So you're going to need some road trip songs.
Now tell me, Daniel, where did the name Left Arm Tan come from?
Well, we've been around about 11 years. And so in 2010, we were just recording an album, to have fun. We weren't very serious about it. And we said, we need a name. And we're all big fans of the band Wilco. And they have a song called Monday. And there's a line in it, Charlie's fixing his van with a left arm tan. And, as the album came together, it was driving music. That's really, for whatever reason, just naturally, that's kind of the sound that we make. So we said, well, we're Left Arm Tan. And we stuck with it. And, it's a fun name and it's who we are.
That's right. Well, Daniel, if folks want to find out more information, not only about the single, If It Ain't Love, the tour, the upcoming EP, and more, is website, maybe social media, probably the best place?
Sure. I mean, first of all, if you Google Left Arm Tan, you're going to get pages and pages about us. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/Left Arm Tan. On Instagram, we're Left Arm Tan Band. Our website is leftarmtan.com. So you can find all of our information out there. And then all of our music is on every digital platform, Spotify and iTunes and all those crazy ones that I never go to, but it's out there.
They're for younger people, aren't they?
That's right. Yeah, I think we're even on TikTok.
That is awesome. Again, Daniel Hines, Left Arm Tan. Appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule. Hope you have a good week. Catch up again real soon.
Yeah, we'll look forward to being in Altus again. So thanks for having me.
Now, it's a lot easier to socialize now than it was a year ago. But a solid portion of the country wishes you'd leave them all alone just a little bit longer. 26% of people wish they had more alone time, which doesn't mean they want to be by themselves all the time, but they don't get enough of it. Around 60% say that they're happy with the amount of alone time they currently get, 11% wish they had less of it, and young people would like to be left alone more than older people do. Now, what age did you finally start taking your health seriously? If you did it young, good for you, because most of us don't. A recent study found that 42% of people don't do it until age 39. And here are the top things that prompt it. Number 1, you don't have as much energy as you used to. Number 2, losing weight suddenly seems a lot harder. Number 3, your clothes don't fit anymore. Number 4, a milestone birthday like your 40th or 50th. Number 5, you're out of breath after climbing a set of stairs. Number 6, even running a short distance seems hard. Number 7, other people point out that you've put on weight. Number 8, seeing a bad picture of yourself. Number 9, a family member has health issues. And number 10, an injury that takes too long to recover from. New Amsterdam airs Tuesday nights, 10 Eastern, 9 local time on NBC, and Season 3 finale coming up tomorrow night, and we've got our good friend Jocko Sims back on the line with us. And first off, Jocko, appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. Thank you so much.
Now, Jocko, last time we talked, we were moving toward the end of Season 2, but man, a little bit of a derailment in the world has gone on. And how different did everything look this last season for you, my friend?
Well, it looked a little different. As you know, we had to get tested constantly and retested and making sure that we had a healthy cast and crew. And so after a while, we got used to that. I was just overwhelmed with the ability of this amazing crew, amazing producers and writers to write the reality of what was going on in our world into the show, to keep moving forward and keep the audiences interested during this time. It's just mind-blowing for me, and I'm just so grateful to be a part of it.
And Jocko, with everybody having to, it seems like we've all got our ears on what the doctors are saying. Did you guys worry this last season because of COVID and everything else going on? Maybe medical would have to take a background as far as TV is concerned?
No, not so much. I mean, I felt like, it was going to be important to sort of incorporate what everybody was going through. Sometimes we forget that doctors are people too. So there's a moment in episode 2 of this season where Dr. Sharp is telling me that we lost a lot of people here. Obviously the patients, but the doctors were taking it hard. And he said that Bloom took it the hardest, and it made me want to go check on my friend and sort of be there for her. But it's great that we were able to tell those stories, and we have real doctors and nurses that are with us on set when they were able to be and guide us through these processes. And when we weren't filming, we were in touch with those same doctors and nurses and texting with them, and they were keeping us informed as to their health, their mental health, and what was going on with the patients in the hospitals, we have a good relationship with them and with the hospitals that we work with. And it was great that we were able to continue to tell the stories.
Now, we talked about the season 3 finale coming up tomorrow night. And Jocko, how excited are you for the end of season 3? And, well, without giving away too much, a little insight into what we can see tomorrow night.
Yes, well, I'm very excited. Well, for one, I haven't seen this episode, and I had read it, and my jaw hit the floor once again. I mean, one thing about this show, we tell some great stories. We tell some true stories. They're tearjerkers. You'll need a box of Kleenex every episode. And, they're really good at giving the fans what they want, be it a cliffhanger or be it wrapping up an open story. And they definitely don't disappoint this year. So I'm so looking forward to seeing it.
Now, Jocko, away from the screen, what has been occupying your time in some of the extra hours that you've had this last year?
Yeah, well, one, I've become an avid cyclist, which is something I never expected, and I ride my bike all around New York City. I've been exploring the city, and I guess the most I've done is like 20 to 22 miles at one time, and it's just been amazing. And also creatively, I've started to write and come up with projects, and that's been a lot of fun. And hopefully, one of them will come to fruition here in the near future. But if there is a silver lining to my downtime that I had, it was those two things for sure.
Now, I know, Jocko, you also like to cook. Did you try any new recipes this last year? Did you stretch yourself a little bit in the kitchen?
Let's see. Anything new? I did I've been trying to eat a little more healthy. We had some good weeks and some bad weeks, so I just stuck to my old recipes of my gumbo or Mexican chicken tinga. Those aren't the healthiest ones, but then I would do some baked chicken and grilled. I put a lot of things on the grill. I think that's something that I changed up. And whenever you're grilling meat, you have less fat and less oils that'll stay in the meat, and so that's what I picked up.
There you go. Well, what since we missed summer 2020, what big plans you got for this summer?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I already went down to Miami for a little bit and kicked my feet up and relaxed. And I have one more before we get back to work. I'm going to head to Jamaica with my mom, who I haven't seen in a year. And she's just, once a week she cries thinking about it. That's the longest time we've ever gone. And she loves Jamaica. It's like her home away from home. She gets to go down there relax, and she's always wanted me to go. I mean, for over 13 years she's been going. And finally, I called her up and said, "Hey, Mom, I think we should reunite there." And she's just over the moon. So I'm looking forward.
That's awesome. And again, the season finale coming up tomorrow night, 10 Eastern, 9 local time on NBC. And Jocko, always want to make sure and let folks know where to keep up with everything you got going social media wise as well, my friend.
Absolutely. You spell my name, Jocko Sims, JOCKOSIMS, on all the platforms.
There you go. Well, Jocko, it's always great to visit with you, sir. Appreciate you taking out some time. And, brother, hope you have a great summer break as well.
Oh, Karen, same to you, buddy. Thank you so much.
Now, a lot of people got dogs during the pandemic, or at least thought about it. And now we have some data on the types of dogs we were looking for. Someone looked through Google Trends to find the type of dog that each state Googled the most in the past year. And the list is surprisingly diverse. 24 different breeds were number one in at least one state, and only 6 breeds got more than 2 states. But there was still a clear winner. Number 1, Bulldogs. They were the most searched dog breed in 10 different states, including Georgia, which makes sense because of the Georgia Bulldogs. Number 2, the Havanese. Now they're next with 5 states: New York, New Jersey, Michigan, Nebraska, and Idaho. Number 3, 4 breeds got 3 states each: Cocker Spaniels in Alabama, South Carolina, and Utah. German Shepherds in Kentucky, North Carolina, and West Virginia. Golden Retrievers in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Wisconsin, and Greyhounds in Colorado, Connecticut, and Kansas. And number 4, 6 breeds got 2 states each: Boxers, Dachshunds, Corgis, Pugs, Samoyeds, and West Highlands Terriers. Singer, songwriter, she actually had a couple of songs really that were out at the same time a couple of weeks ago, and still got the new single. We'll talk about that as well with Lisa Brokop. And first off, Lisa, thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, you're so welcome. It's a pleasure to be here and seeing you on video. You look amazing. We were just talking about that.
Oh, she's pulling out the pre-interview conversation on us. I got you now. Now, Lisa, tell us what was it like to have 2 singles at the same time in the midst of all we've gone through this last year?
Well, you know what? If you'd have told me that a year ago, there's going to be 2 songs out, I would have said, no, that's ridiculous. I mean, I didn't expect even one. That was just, I figured, okay, we're in a pandemic, we're just going to slow down. We're just going to stay home, homeschool, all that stuff. But lo and behold, you just never know what the universe is going to pull out. And Jeff Carson and I have this song. Well, it's Jeff's song that he released many years ago. And I got to sing on it with him, God Save the World. And he decided to re-release it. And then it started getting some traction and doing really well. So then Curb Records, who originally released it, decided they would get on board as well. And then out it went. And I was like, wow, that's super cool. There it is. Things like that just never happen in the music business, but there it was. And then of course, my song, Is It Me and You, with Harley Hatcher, who's the songwriter. Been working with him. And I was singing some demos for him last year through the pandemic. That's what we do here in Nashville. Get hired to go to the studio. There's several awesome places here in Nashville to do that. And you go and you sing great songs for people. And so Harley contacted me after that and said, hey, what about taking one of these songs and putting it out to radio? And I thought, of all the questions, I did not expect that one. But so he wrote the song for me, and it's out there and it's climbing up the chart, and I can't believe it. I'm flabbergasted, really. It's just so unexpected, but I love that, because that's when things are the best, when they just happen spontaneously, and it's like, okay, I'm just going with it. Here we go.
What was it like whenever you realized not only you were going to have 2 singles out there, or 1 single out there, but to have 2, and in spite of what we've all gone through this last year? I mean, how crazy is it not even thinking about having 1?
I know, it's like super crazy, because the music business is difficult at the best of times. We're all trying to get out there. There's a lot of us with great songs, and we're trying to get them. It's very hard. So of course, you would never expect to try it in a pandemic. It just wouldn't, things are so weird and topsy-turvy. But I'm also a big believer of just go with the flow. And all of a sudden, this has just been put in front of me. And I'm like, okay, God, what you got? I'm going with it. And off we went. So it's been a lot of fun. It's actually been the most fun, because when there's no expectation and you're not sure, it's just fun. And you just go with it, and you talk to people, and see it going up the chart. It's amazing.
Now, Lisa, what did you take? What is your takeaway from the pandemic? I mean, we've both been around the industry for a few years, and obviously we've never seen anything like this. And how have you had to adjust because of pandemic? And maybe has that kind of reinvigorated your creative juices a little bit?
It has, in different ways. I actually didn't mind the slowing down so much. I've been traveling for years and years, since in my early 20s, or my teens, really. I've been traveling across, let's go way back. And so, I was okay to stay home, I have an 11-year-old daughter. We were homeschooling. That's another interview, another story, probably. That was a nightmare. But anyways, everything else, slowing down. Aside from being kind of an extrovert with the music, I'm a kind of an introvert otherwise. So I like downtime. I like quiet, being at home, just kind of that sort of thing. And it was great to slow down. For our family, it was kind of a reset button in a way, to figure out, okay, we're going to do this now. And maybe that wasn't so important, or this is important and we need to get that back, those kinds of things. So I think it's been good. It's been hard. I look back and there's, of course, had some tough days and not being able to get up to family. I'm from Canada, can't get up there. Haven't been up there all year. So that stuff is hard. But, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Now, what is maybe the thing that you pulled out of 2020 and you're using that as you move forward into 2021 and we get ready to open up as obviously people are really looking forward to the summer and the concerts and all of that. What have you really grabbed onto?
I think don't sweat the small stuff. When something that big is happening, it sure minimizes, it makes some of those things that we thought were so important look kind of silly. It's like, we stayed healthy through it. Awesome. We did not get sick. We were able to see some friends throughout it. Some people didn't see anybody. We were able to kind of have a bubble of a few people around. It just, I think that, and I hear that from a lot of people. It's like, the bigger stuff, the things we think are big really aren't that big. It's about being healthy, happy, maybe take some of the chaos out of life as we move forward to keep that stress down and, that sort of thing.
Now, when the time came that you weren't on stage anymore, what was maybe the biggest surprise thing that you miss about performing?
Well, I have an ego just like anybody else. So let's be honest. It's fun to have people applaud and enjoy your music, buy your records. So, that's fun. But, I wasn't touring all the time anyway. So, being at home was also a part of what I do. I had a Christmas tour lined up for 2020 and we had to cancel that. So I was disappointed about that because I love Christmas. I love performing Christmas music. I'd never done a Christmas tour and I was about to do that. So that was disappointing, but it's going to happen. It's just going to be delayed. So we'll probably do it next year in 22. There is a little bit of that. Well, nobody's looking at me. Oh my gosh, am I okay? But turns out I am okay.
Now, how has the inspiration been, songwriting, music, lyric, any of that for you this last year? Has it been more difficult to find inspiration, or maybe have you found it in places you weren't looking before?
That's exactly it. Places I wasn't thinking I would find it. Nashville's a big place for co-writing. So of course that wasn't, unless you were doing it online, that wasn't really happening. But I started writing a bit more on my own, which I'm not all that good at because I'll start it, but I won't finish it. So, I'm that kind of person, but I actually kind of got inspired. I've been writing some Christian music, just, times like this will kind of make you go into your prayer life a little bit more. And it did that for me. And so I wrote some of those kinds of songs that I just really love because there wasn't any expectation. It was like, well, just do whatever. And it was fun to let those kinds of creative juices flow. And I think that's only going to move into everything else that I'm doing and, put an extra layer on it.
Now, who have been your musical, the musical go-tos for you as you've had time alone? Have you delved back a few years to some of the old time favorites of yours?
I love the old music. I love Patsy Cline, the legendary ladies. In fact, that's one of my shows when I am touring, the Patsy Cline project. So I do a lot of her classics, plus a few that I've written to go with that show. Let's see, what do I listen to? I have an 11-year-old daughter. So as soon as we get in the car, her station comes on. So I listen to a lot of what she's listening to, which is not always my favorite stuff. But, I love the old style music. I love simple recordings with a steel guitar, acoustic guitar, that kind of thing. And the quiet music, I like to call it.
Now, what's
loud music?
Yeah. What's been the biggest technological thing that you've had to pick up as a result of the pandemic? I mean, obviously, we're doing Zoom, and us radio guys, that's not anything we've ever had to do before. Is it kind of the same for you?
Yes. When it comes to technology, it's amazing. We're actually on and connected right now. I have had problems every time, oh my gosh, I got another interview. I'm going to screw it up. Oh my gosh. And the smallest little things, the button I forget to push, I'm really not good at that stuff. So, but I have learned a few things and about Zoom, and learned that I'm maybe not as dumb as I thought it was. So you can do things if you try.
Lisa, we talked about the single God Save the World and the timeliness of that, the feedback that you've gotten from it. I mean, how cool is that? And like we said, the timeliness of it, and Jeff just really pouring his heart out as well.
Oh, he's so amazing. I've always loved his voice since way back when he had his hits out, and it's such a great song. And I just feel kind of privileged, honored that I got to sing on it, because the lyric, I've always loved the lyric. It's beautiful, but to hear it now with everything going on, it's like, oh, that's right on. I just love it. And I think Jeff is great. He's such a humble guy and a hard worker. And he's been so excited to finally have something back out again. Here we are, us old guys out there with something back on the chart. It's like, whoa, look at us.
What does it say about the state of the world for that to have climbed the charts like it did, and not on secular radio even?
Exactly. I think people are starved for something like that. They're lonesome. They're hurting. They're stressed out because nobody knows exactly what's going on. So a song like that, it just fills a place. Even if you don't know it, it just touches something in your heart that even if you're not a believer, I think it gets you. So, and if you are a believer, all the better. And, it's perfect. I love the lyric to that song.
Now, with no expectations as the new single rolled out, I mean, what's it like whenever you start hearing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ads coming in, and does it make you feel like the kid in the candy store again?
It does, because I never thought I'd ever hear those terms. Hey, we got this many ads this week. We got 10 ads. Like, I remember those days when I was on Capitol Records and Sony, and on Mondays, you'd wait for how many ads did we get? And I just never thought I'd be in that game again. And so here we are. And I'm like, oh, wow, look at more ads. Look, it's going up the chart. Look at there I am. I take a picture of it, post it on Facebook and all that stuff. And yeah, I feel like a newcomer again. I'm a new artist at my age. I'm not going to tell you how old, but it was my birthday yesterday.
All right. Well, happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you.
Now, you talked about posting on social. Have you, I'm of the older generation too now. TikTok, have you delved into TikTok yet?
I tried. My daughter loves that, of course. She's 11. And I actually went on. She was so embarrassed. It was worth it for that. It was kind of fun, And I just did a little snippet. People do little snippets of songs. And I did that song, If the World Was Ending, You'd Come Over Now. Do you remember that song?
Oh, yeah.
So I just did a little snippet. And I think she kind of liked it, but there was no way she was going to tell me that she did. And so it was pretty embarrassing. Like, oh my God, my mom's on TikTok. So, and I called it Moms on TikTok. You can go and find it. And so I think I need to build that, build up the moms on TikTok.
Now, how hard has that been to catch on with social media? I mean, obviously that's a whole different ball game, but it also allows a little better interaction with fans, and you
sure
gotta
does.
appreciate that this last year, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the FaceTime live stuff. We've done some concerts from the living room. And even, talking to family at home, if it weren't for that stuff. And yeah, and I find out things from other people. Oh, they're doing this and they've got this live recording happening. I'm not really good at it, I have to say. I am from the older generation. It baffles me. It does, but I try. And yes, it's great to say, hey, I've got this coming up. You can let people know. So, I try. I could do better for sure. I try. But thank God for it, because it is the only thing we've got or have had the last year.
Now, how hard was it the first time around to do a Facebook Live, and what's it like to sing and imagine the feedback, I guess, right?
It's the weirdest thing when you finish the song and there's dead silence. It's like, and you know what your brain automatically does? They didn't like me. And it's like, how do you know? But then you see the little hearts go up on the underneath and you go, oh, okay, they did like me. Oh, good. They're responding. We're so egotistical.
You got your inner Sally Field coming out, huh?
Yeah. I've gotten used to it. Just what it is. I sort of imagine the applause, and I actually I'm thinking about doing one on Friday. My daughter and my husband are going to see his mother. So I'm all by myself this week. So I think I'm going to do another little show, and I'm going to think about this conversation when I do
That's awesome. Now, Lisa, the new single, Is It Me and You? I want to make sure and let our listeners know not only where to find more about that, where to get it, where to follow your socials, and obviously we'd be remiss if we didn't let them know where TikTok, where they can follow you there too.
Well, yeah, I don't know how to get on there. You just have to type me in there. But yes, Is It Me and You is available on all the streaming platforms. So, Pandora, Apple, all those places you can go on, whatever your favorite one is. I have a website, lisabrokop.com. So if you want to go there, that's where I'm doing some blogging and information and tour dates as they come up. There isn't any yet, but there will be soon. So yeah, and Facebook, Twitter, I try to post and keep up on there as well.
That's right. Well, Lisa, it is a privilege to have the chance to spend some time with you today. I love the new single, love the work with Jeff as well. Couldn't have fit better in the time that we live in as well.
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'm grateful for the spins, and a pleasure talking to you as well.
Well, thanks again for joining us for this 92nd episode in Season 2 of Good Questions with Cameron Dole. If you ever have a comment, question, maybe anything else you'd like to know, you can hit me up on the contact page at gqwithcam.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok, all at GQWithCam. If you'd like to help out in the funding for this podcast, visit our merch store where you find hoodies, shirts, stickers, tumblers, mugs, and much more. That's at gqwithcam.com/shop. Of course, if you've got a special guest idea, email me, gqwithcam@gmail.com. Thanks again to our good friend, Texas country artist Brandon Allen, for coming up with our theme music. We're going to let him play us out. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday.